Alright, this is Eco Dome Aldani overview. Wanted to show you guys how I pool and why I do the things I do in these pools. So let's just go ahead and get it started with that. This first pool is generally one of the most difficult, I think, for me. I try to really gather 3 to 4 packs of mobs, and you'll see that I throw out my Black Ox statue just so I can make sure I gather the threat or gather all the mobs together. I am a tank who likes to chain pool a lot more than just gather a bunch of packs together. So I actually use my Black Ox statue a lot for that kind of stuff. So you see me just continuing to pull as we walk and pull as we go. I really try to keep things moving because I don't like to do these large massive pools because it's hard for me to hold threat on them. It's something I'm really working on, but it's something that I need to get better at if I'm going to really push higher keys. But you know, in this clip you can see I'm really trying to just stay out of the AoEs, leg sweep as much as possible, throw my Black Ox statue down when I feel like I need it, and I'm really trying to hold off using my purifying brew as much as possible to try to get those larger shields from, you know, celestial infusion. Now going up this staircase, I didn't expect for the DH to throw his glaives and pull those other mobs, so it kind of caught me off guard. But I was quickly able to recover, get down, grab the threat, and pull everybody up into at least a semi-tight formation for everybody to just AoE down. Now I really try to keep myself keep the mobs facing away from the group, so all these AoEs and frontals and everything can just point straight at me and point away from everybody. I'm trying not to, you know, beam anybody like that. You'll see a lot of the time when I make a pool and I'll stop and I'll rotate everybody around just so that they're looking away from the group. Essentially is what it is. Now this boss I don't really find too difficult. You'll see, you know, gather initial threat, you know, explosive keg, and then, you know, keg smash, and then I put my Black Ox statue down immediately because I know that these mobs, these ads he's gonna spawn, can be a little tricky to pull together. So I'll, you know, Black Ox brew or Black Ox statue will taunt them for me. I'll taunt for my statue, and then I'll leg sweep them, as you can see I did. So groups can kind of just, you know, burst the ads down, and then it's really just trying to stay in range and, you know, not take too much damage from things that are avoidable. You know, my group is doing really well at placing everything in the right spots, the locations, and again my Black Ox statue is down, so I can taunt from that, leg sweep, and we can nuke these guys down, these ads down. Now, what I wasn't expecting is in the intermission phase, I wasn't expecting for my groups to split as evenly as they did, and we just essentially nuke everything right here, which is really helpful. It's, you know, I kind of stressed out sometimes when we have to split and do these things, and I'm hoping that, you know, the DPS is going to do the things that they need to do and nuke things down instead of just trying to act like, you know, DPS the boss. This is really good. You did see that I put my Ring of Peace down just in case we didn't get those mobs down in time, but this boss was pretty simple. I mean, this is just a plus 10. It isn't too difficult, really. I probably overgeared for it, but it was just, you know, the introductory dungeon of the night, so I wanted to do something that was more or less on the simpler side. You know, as we go to this next pool, my thought process is pull big here. So pull this first sentinel group, pull this second group, you know, toss exploding keg over, grab that third group of mobs, and then really just face everything away, because that sentinel's got that huge frontal. This, I'll be honest, I was not paying attention to my stagger, so I did get a little nervous that I might die, get one shot by something.
Stay away from
so
lines.
I keep my stagger a little high here, which was avoidable, and I didn't think about it as much. I did notice it after I started popping my DRs, or you know, my defensives, but it's something I really need to. I'm really working on. You know, with this pool, I tried to avoid this mob on the right, like the sentinel on the right, and I was just trying to get to these lizards up here. I forget what they're called, and I did not realize that the DH pulled the sentinel group. So I noticed it right before he died, and I tried to get back there to save him, but it didn't work. So this pool was kind of a mess. It was hard for me to get everything gathered. I took that AOE. I should have got out of the swirls, and I didn't. But you know, it happens. I will say that the healer was fantastic here, and the group was really good at recovering. So I messed this pool up really badly. You know, we take one, maybe 2 deaths at the end, but it's not as bad as it could have been. You know, we could have wiped this. But I really just tried to gather everything, point them away off the cliff, so I can take the front by myself. And we try to stay out of these swirly pools.
Stay away from lines.
You will see though, like I'm a big person on using my chi burst to try to get everything gathered and line myself up to where I'm doing as much damage and as much healing with my chi burst as possible. I try to really do as much off healing as I can to help my healers. Because sometimes I know I'm probably not the greatest tank and I stress the healers out a little bit. But I do what I can. So this pool, like I said, I try to chain pull everything up as much as possible. So we take the sentinel, you know, these 4 other mobs, and really just point away, try to nuke them down as fast as possible. A lot of this is just avoidable damage we got to stay out of. So it's really good to just move them as slowly as possible, and then once they're almost dead, at least the sentinel, I can move up to the next group. That's what you see me doing here. Try to pull these 2 groups, and then I'm really aware and cognizant of the pat that's coming up. I don't want that pat and those lizards to aggro to us and start shooting and, you know, through us with their teleport. So you're gonna see me. I'm gonna ring a piece up here just to make sure that they don't come to us. I want to pull those next if possible, because I don't want to overwhelm the healer with too much avoidable things that we could get out of and casters and things like that. You'll see, like once we get the casters down, I move up, pull this group, and I pull the big mob, the sentinel group that's right in front of the boss. I want to try to activate the boss to get his RP started. I don't want to sit there and wait 5 seconds for the RP to go. So once these guys are dead, my thought process is to move over, pull this pat that I ring a piece the first time. So it's really just get the sentinel down as quickly as possible and move the pack back to where move the group back to where the patting group is, so I can kind of just pull them straight to it. So you see me do that here, and honestly I forgot that there was another group that I should pull. So luckily someone pings it for me, and it's, you know, you're gonna see it over here on the left. So once they ping it, I pull the group over, so we can, you know, DPS down as much as possible before we straight pull the boss. Now you'll see me again here. I'm pulling the boss, or pulling the mobs before the boss. My goal is to get the casters down, and then I can pull the lizards onto the boss, because that won't be that much damage that we have to deal with.
Sweet. Stay away from lines.
Yeah, again, just avoiding the swirlies, avoiding the lines, and then we pull this mob straight onto the boss. Now this boss I think is really simple. Defensive. I really just try to
stay away from lines.
DPS both of the javelin people at the same time. So you'll see me, if my chi burst is up, I'll line myself up and I'll chi burst through both of them so we can get DPS on both of them. If not, I'll try to stand in the middle DPS them down together with, you know, anything I can. Most of my attacks are gonna be,
Defensive.
you know, they're gonna hit multiple people, so it's okay.
Special
Now,
coming.
we are gonna get this intermission phase. With the intermission phase, I try to put myself always between, or I try to put myself on the outside of the lizard's teleport. I want to try to put the boss in between me, even if I don't have the frontal that I'm supposed to be, you know, directing. I try to at least be in an area where, if I do get it and I'm not paying attention, it's going through one of the mechanics. And then here it's just, you know, beat him down as quickly as possible, DPS as quickly as possible. Try to get through it without having to go through another intermission phase.
Defensive.
Again, you know, do my defensives, make sure I'm not taking too much damage. I am constantly watching the healer's DPS, or not the healer's DPS, but the healer's mana, to make sure that they have enough mana for me to, you know, pull bigger if I want to. I am one of those people, I try to pull relatively large and just chain pull everything, so it's a constant running motion. So I try to keep my eyes on the healer's mana as much as possible so they can drink if they need to. No. This next pool is, besides the first pool, is I think one of the more difficult pools in the dungeon. You know, we try to avoid the big mob up here on the right, and I usually pull these two on the right, but I didn't this time, and I strictly pulled these casters here and pulled the well people, and I just LOS behind the pillar so they can run to me instead of trying to fight them in the open and I'm just getting casted on. Now, this pool was a little scary, I will admit. I wasn't 100% positive that we could survive. You see me really quickly at the beginning, leg sweep to get everything stunned for a second, just so everyone can get up here and we can try to gather the mobs as quickly as possible and as tightly as possible so we can kill them off. Now, we go up to this pack, and this is just a single pull until the pats move down to me a little bit, because then I can roll to them, you know, grab them real fast and pull them back, and you know, the DH and DK can, and the hunter can AoE together as much as possible. Now this pull again is like these lizards, they teleport through and it's kind of annoying at times, but we get it. You know, you just got to do it. You got to make sure you kill them as fast as possible. They, in my opinion, they aren't the worst mobs to keep alive. You want to try to kill the casters first, you know, like we always try to do in dungeons. I will say that I did forget that these
stay away from lines.
These stabs give you a buff, so we were just running through it. I wasn't worried about trying to take the 4 seconds to get the buff. We were really just trying to pull through and get down, to get things down.
Dodge.
I will be honest, at this point in time in the dungeon, I'm looking at our count and I'm thinking we might have enough count and not have to come back. But it's I'm not 100% positive about it, so I am aware that we probably might not have count, so I'm trying to avoid things that are too difficult to pull, like that big underground guy. Like, it takes forever to kill him, it's not worth pulling him.
Stay away from lines.
In the long run, it might have been more beneficial to pull him, just because I wasn't positive we were gonna have enough count. But it is what it is. We keep pulling, just chain pull through. Now this, I actually really like this pull I did here. I try to just grab these guys up, you know, stack them as much as possible, walk backwards, and I pull these guys behind me with Crackling Jade Lightning, and then you'll see me use my statue to pull these other guys here. I know that the statue will taunt them, and then they'll kill the statue, and then they'll have to run to me. So that's what I'm trying to get them to do. They'll port to me, and I can taunt them. It takes me a second because right as my statue died, I had taunted, so I had to wait 8 seconds before I could taunt again. So it wasn't that bad of an idea, but it's definitely a play that I like to try to do in dungeons as much as possible. Use my statue to pull range mobs or mobs that are at range that I can't get to, and let them just kill the statue and run to me. You know, these ones are just a typical tank and spank, so it's not that hard, not that big of a deal. We really just try to kill them as fast as possible.
Start. AOE incoming. Buff.
Feed. All of you. Feed
Nova.
on the void. Let its darkness fill you.
A lot of just avoiding things. You did see me use She-Burst there. I was actually concerned that might go and pull this other group, but luckily it stopped about 5 yards short. I will be honest, I pull a lot more things accidentally with She-Burst than I should, because I forget the range of it. So there are points in time where I pull things that I should be avoiding accidentally because I use She-Burst. Like I said, I try to use it as a heal and as a DPS, you know, as much as possible. I like to try to heal the group when I can. After this guy, I have been paying attention to my healer's mana, and I will say I'm about 75% positive that we would be able to kill this guy, this boss, without him needing to drink for mana. I did think at this point we probably not 3-chest it, but we could definitely 2-chest it. So it's really just avoid any major issues and major complications and DPS as quickly as possible. You did see me Chi Burst there, give a big heal to the group because everyone's stacked together. It's pretty usful. I really love that spell. Now here I was a little confused. I was expecting to just run left. I usually run left on things like this, but the other party member ran in my direction, so I really just had to stay, and they would have avoided me. But you know, it is what it is.
Spirit incoming.
Now here, you know, you're grabbing your mobs or your shadows or whatever there are, their spirits. Just trying to be in the right spots. With this mechanic, this intermission, I try to put myself where I believe the next thing is going to be, and as close to my my thing I'm supposed to get as possible, like as quickly or as close to them as possible, so I can avoid the frontal. I do stack, you know, getting my little shadow guy. I probably should wait a little bit more, but I see it as it's more important to just get it over with and get the mechanic done, and then DPS, as opposed to trying to time it and have the most uptime for it.
Spirit incoming.
Again, same mechanics. I almost didn't get this one because I didn't have a roll available. We really just tank this guy. Now, I have paid attention. We are short 6.5 points or 6.5% or something like that.
Spirit incoming.
So I'm trying to figure out where I'm going to go after this guy dies. I do have an idea that like the 3 bug ads that are up here on the right are not going to be enough for us to get percent. So we have to go back to some of the bigger group mobs. So it is disappointing that we didn't get it right the first time, but it's fine. I come up here and I round this corner, and I'm pretty positive that this is going to be enough. So go up and pull everybody together as quickly as possible and
Stay away from lines.
avoid the mechanics.
AOE.
Now we pulled this week. I did the math quickly in my head, or like looked at the thing, and we'll have just 100%, so we should be good. I do like sweep, try to get the casters, you know, silenced for a second, and then we just kill this guy. I really don't know what I'm doing there backing up. I think it's just a nervous
away.
habit. Now, sorry for that hard transition between the end of the dungeon and here. I'm still working on learning editing for videos and things like that. But if you couldn't tell, we did time that plus 10 Aldani. I did not get IO because I've actually run a 12 and timed that one. But I believe that, you know, running a 10 was a good way to start the night before I run in, jump into 12s, and potentially break people's keys, because that's really not what I'm trying to do. But on the screen now, you can see my gear. He's not maxed out. He has mythic pieces he still needs to get. But once I get those, I can try to max him out, and then he'll be as good as he could be until the end of the season. On a side note, I do run all 6 tank specs, and I would like to start making videos for all tank specs. The same type of video that this is here, where I run a dungeon, a Mythic Plus dungeon, do the commentary and voiceover for it, so you understand the perspective of a regular player, not someone who's chasing title or, you know, world first, a top 1% guy. That's not what I am. I just run Mythic Plus, try to potentially run 13s and 14s as I can get up there, and raid with my guild and tank for my guild. So with the end of season 3 and pushing into midnight, I will be making videos just like this for all 6 tank specs and for potentially raid bosses and things like that. I really appreciate you guys making it to the end of this video. If you have any feedback on things I can do better for the videos or tanking in general, I'm up for all feedback. I really enjoy it. I will try to implement everything that you guys say to me and everything that you guys suggest to the best of my ability. Additionally, if you like these videos, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel, because I'll be trying to put out videos for all 6 tank specs in the near future for the end of season 3 and pushing into midnight. I really appreciate you guys, and I will talk to you in the next one.